Welcome to the Call Guys podcast, co-hosted by Kevin Hopp and Ronan Passar. This podcast is all about sales development and the art and science of building high-performing outbound sales teams. Tune in weekly to hear live cold calls and also to hear Kevin and Ronan interview some of the top names in sales development. Let's dive right into this week's episode and see what we can learn. This episode is brought to you by Connect and Sell, your live conversation weapon. Teams that use Connect and Sell average 5 to 10 times more live conversations every day with their prospects. As a cold calling consultant, I've used every platform out there, and simply put, Connect and Sell is the Cadillac of the sales acceleration space. If you haven't tried it out, your team can try it for free by clicking the link in the show notes below.
The number one thing that will confound your success is the fact that people don't pick up cold calls nearly as much as they used to. And when you take the time and effort to research everything about a prospect and they don't pick up the phone, there is a little bit of a moment there that I call ego death, right? Now, whether or not they pick up the phone, they can pick up the phone and they shut you down, like the guy that I just talked to, Rory, who said, nope, don't have time to talk. If you put a lot of effort and weight and like research, I've got a whole notebook full of notes on Alfredo, and I'm going to call Alfredo. And when Alfredo tells me, hey man, hey, thanks for the call, I'm not interested. Take me off your list. It's an ego death moment. You feel like crap because you put so much weight, effort, and energy into this prospect, when at the end of the day, none of that stuff matters. It only matters if he has a business challenge that you can help him solve, period, full stop, right?
Yep.
So if we know that and we understand that being an SDR is full of all these little moments in the day where our ego and our sense of self-worth and our belief that we're doing good things for our profession, if we know that we have all these little moments where that's on the line, we have to try and pull back a little bit and say, how can I make this more about the business and their business and business challenges and valuable solutions, and not about, hey, my name is Kevin and I did all the research on you, Eddie. I know exactly all about your life. Go Raider Nation. You're like, okay, all right, I do the Raiders, but like, well, why are you calling me?
Yep. Bingo.
So that's my soapbox moment there.
I love that. Man, if I could just add just one little piece to that so they can walk away with something on how to get started if they wanted to do that and not worry about research too much.
Good.
Yeah. So essentially, like the way I would get started is don't worry about researching person by person. Start with personas. Work with the couple titles that you sell to and understand their world to a certain capacity. What are one or two problems that they typically have in their day-to-day that you can solve with your product? What are one or two outcomes that they're judged by, that they're scored on, that could be impacted by the problems that they have? And if you know that, then you can have a relevant conversation. By the way, I just got into this space, speaking with maintenance managers and whatnot. I know nothing about nothing. There's probably some people on my team who know a lot more about it. However, I took the time to learn about
the Call Guys. Taylor, how are you? Yeah, I'm actually the co-founder of a business called The Call Guys. You never heard of us. You never met me. You got a minute? I'll tell you why I called. All right, cool. I guess the reason for my call at The Call Guys, we help B2B SaaS startups that are trying to do more with less given the current state of the tech space. And the big question I had for you, Taylor, is generating outbound pipeline something that you're focused on in Q2? It's not. Oh, okay. Good to know. I had a bit of a mix up here. In that case, then it would not make any sense for us to talk. Yeah, man, this is what we do. We teach other businesses how to do this at scale as well, right? Taking the old-fashioned approach of having conversations with people about problems and solutions. But if you're B2C, you don't need to generate a lot of outbound pipeline, do you? Yep. Cool. All right, Taylor, I will free up your phone line here for your 10:45. But thank you for the chat. Have a great day.
Let's go. Man.
That sucks. This is a list of tech startups. And he has a tech startup, but it's a business to consumer play. So he doesn't have salespeople. So classic problem.
You eliminated one. That's not a good fit. Had a conversation. That's momentum, baby. Let's go. And if I could highlight one thing that I really like about your style of cold calling, I love the way you just addressed that it's a cold call. early on. I love the way you address that. You probably haven't heard of the company. We're getting ahead of these objections and we're keeping them focused on what's important, and you're addressing them before the prospect has to answer you. That's one of my favorites. So shout out to you, man, for doing that. I love that, Kev.
Thank you. Thank you. That is a big part of the puzzle here. It is funny. I get criticized for the way I open calls because it leads to more hangups. It leads to more calls that end in the beginning. And a lot of people say, dude, why do you open it that way? Why don't you just get to the point right away? And my take on it is I have a process, and my process is I'm only going to talk to you when you're ready. Now, most people are making calls off of a handwritten list or a list that they have one call task in a sequence of 12 emails, right?
Yep.
So that one call has a lot of pressure on it to convert, right?
Great call.
That pressure is artificial. That pressure is your process. So that person has to talk to you right then and there. Hey, this is Kevin with the Call Guys. How you doing today? I'm all right, Andre. I know I'm a bit of an interruption here. Did I catch you with a minute and I'll explain why I'm calling? Fantastic. So, Andre, I'm a co-founder of a business called The Call Guys. Now, you never heard of us, but what we do is we work directly with B2B SaaS startups that are trying to do more with less when it comes to sales development, given the current state of the technology space. So the question for you, is generating outbound pipeline something that you're focused on in Q2? Okay. Do you think that's something that you'll focus on closer to the end of the year or? Oh, I don't know. That makes total sense. I had you working at Arcade. Oh, okay. Okay. Right on. So you're just now getting to the point. Yeah. Your new company's not a startup is what you're saying. Oh, okay. And they don't have an outbound sales team that's like pound and pound having conversations every day? Wow. Okay. Must be nice. Okay. All right, Andre, I'm going to let you go, man. Do you mind if we connect on LinkedIn? And maybe if outbound if it becomes a priority for you and you just want to bounce some ideas and talk to someone who's on the cutting edge of all that, that's what we do at the Call Guys. We're consultants and trainers, but I'm a referral partner for probably 20 different technologies. So happy to point you to the technology that is going to make the most sense for you. Time for the money. Love it. All right, Andre, have a great day.
Aw. Man.
Okay. That was a good one.
I liked it.
Very talkative guy. This guy just changed jobs in the last 2-3 months. Like, what do you do there? My data was a little bit out of whack, but his new company exists on inbound flow. Like a lot of inbound flow, and they're not a startup business. They've been around for 20 years. So that clues to me, unless there's like a precipitating event, like a real reason why they would want to try something net new, like a new product launch or something similar to that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Like that would be a little bit of the square peg round hole. If you have a ton of inbound and you understand your spend, hey, I just know that if I spend $1 here, I get $1.50 in sales. If your business can thrive on that, look, outbound is not cheap. And it's not cheap because you need to have something that's much higher that you're going after to justify the whole expense in doing it. So I'm not going to bark up that tree with Andre right now, but I am going to connect with him. And I'm going to have him in my sphere here.
Yeah, absolutely. You handled that well, by the way. A question for you. What was his role at the new company?
That's a good question. I did not get that. And I was actually trying feverishly to pull up his LinkedIn, and I think I found it at the very end. He's just a sales director is the title. Dude, director of sales and sales director is like the worst title ever, because at every company, it means something completely different. Like
totally.
Sales director at a lot of companies is just an individual contributor. Then there's someone who's actually directing other people, who's like in charge of managers or in charge of a sales team. I mean, all these different things. He said that outbound is just not a focus for them right now at all. And he's brand new in his role. And he said it might be something he's going to look at later. At the end of the day, I consider it a good nurture op.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say one thing that the audience can consider, right? It may vary depending on who you're targeting, but hey, you can always ask for that back pocket referral. Hey, would you happen to know anybody who might be looking into ramping up an outbound team, right? You never know, especially in SaaS. So many people are connected in the small community. You might get a referral at turning something into nothing. So don't be afraid to ask. So that's always an opportunity for the audience out there. I'm trying to get my team to do that a little bit more as well. So we talked about that recently. So it's top of mind for me, but hopefully that helps.
Dude, phenomenal. Good point. I didn't even think to ask about a referral. I could always learn. That's a really good point, man.
That's a good thing about you and I. We're students of the game. We never master it. We just continue to learn. And that's why I'm so excited to be on here with you, man. Let me see if I can rip out one more dial before we... But for the audience out there, I hope this has been fun. I hope you were able to take away something. Just know what you're doing out there is not easy. We're doing it here day in and day out. We love it, but you got to do a lot of it to love it. And you'll get there. And Kevin's a great resource to reach out to. So if your company's looking for a way to level up, or if you're barely starting an outbound team, or you want to be that SDR, build your network, connect with people like myself and Kevin, and start absorbing as much as you can. It's never too early to learn anything new.
That's right. That's right.
I know we're rolling up on time in a bit here. I'm not sure if I'm going to pull out a connection in time, so I shall pause at this point.
Really? We got 2 more minutes.
All right. I'm for it. I am for it. Let's let this Connect and Sell run, baby. This has been a great experience, by the way.
Yeah, Connect and Sell is pretty incredible. Shout out to our sponsor, Connect and Sell. If you notice, Eddie and I are not punching numbers. We have lists loaded in Connect and Sell, which is a conversation weapon, is out there doing the hard work, doing all that lifting, all that manual, going through dial trees and everything. Connect and Sell's platform does that for you. All we do is wait for a beep. And when the beep happens, we know we're live in a conversation with someone on our list. Because
hey there, is this Mark? Hey, hello, Mark. Hello. Did I get you, Mark? Or is it me? It's not you, it's me. My apologies. All right. Didn't work out. He played let me hear who this is and see if I want to continue saying anything.
Yeah.
The good old pick up and wait. So good job to him. He was a director. Would have been a nice call.
You can always double tap. You ever do that?
I'll do it right now.
Double tap, baby. Double tap. And then I always just start that second call by, hey man, sorry we got disconnected. Yeah, this is Eddie. How you doing?
Hey Mark, sorry we got disconnected. This is Eddie again. Can you hear me better? Okay. Yeah. Hey, I just wanted to give you a call, but first wanted to make sure that you're still the director of maintenance over there, right? Correct. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I was just hoping to connect with you a little bit. The reason for the call was I've been talking to a lot of directors recently who've been saying like their teams have been stressed because they've been forced to do more with less nowadays due to the shallow labor pool and strange supply chains. So it's really causing maintenance tasks to slip through the cracks. And I was just curious to hear if evaluating your current maintenance process and tools was on your agenda at all for Q2. Yeah, it's more of a tool for internal maintenance teams to leverage versus an outsourced maintenance teams. That's not what we are, but we are a CMS. So essentially we are able to help maintenance teams get everything together in one source so that you have cleaner data, cleaner reporting, and a lot easier way to run maintenance and prioritize those work orders, things like that, so that your team is running better with less boots on the ground, essentially. Is any of that interesting for you or your team? Okay. Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, going back to what you said, you don't have your eggs in all basket at this point. Now, a lot of directors typically realize that's a problem for them when they try to pull reports from their maintenance teams and they're trying to forecast for parts, labor, things like that. Is any of that a priority for you? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. No, that's totally fair, Mark. And I like to tell everybody, I'm not necessarily, what we do is not a fit for everyone. So just learning a little bit more about your current state and your priorities. It's, hey, let's see if there are any opportunities, but it seems like you got it buttoned up with that current solution. And here's what I suggest. Why don't we just keep in touch? Maybe I can, as you mentioned, things change. If that labor pool dries up a little bit and you're starting to get backlogged with those work orders, maybe we can have a conversation then. What do you think? Hey, if there's a hole to fill, we can have a conversation about that. But yeah, I can hear you. You got me there? Yeah. All right. Much appreciated, Mark. You have a good one. All right. Almost.
Hell of a conversation, man. Hell of a conversation. I love it. Eddie, how can people connect with you? LinkedIn, right?
Connect with me on LinkedIn. And you can also find me on TikTok, Kick SaaS Coaching.
Love that. Kick SaaS Coaching on TikTok. Everyone go follow Eddie. Thank you once again for coming on the show, Eddie. Thank you to our sponsor, Connect and Sell. Everybody tune in 2 weeks. I'm going to send you a calendar invite. I'm going to send you an invite on LinkedIn. In 2 weeks, we're going to be back again for another show.
Excellent. Kevin, thank you so much for having me. This has been a blast.